We're starting our recording.
It's live.
All right, perfect. Okay, hello everybody. This is MS Office Hours. Today is Thursday, March 31st. I am Heather Cox with my own personal special guest host. This is little Dakota. She's home from school, so she's joining me, but I'm going to turn my camera off so you can't see her. With me are my beautiful co-hosts.
Hey everybody, Stephanie Stevens. And
I'm Andrea Sangrio.
There she is.
And
I'm Garrett with no video.
Yeah, Garrett with no video. We are super excited about this session. I think a lot of people, this was a much requested session. And so we have Samantha and AJ who were on the communication, but one of our favorite special guest stars is here. Max Fritz is also joining us today. So Samantha, AJ, Max, we're going to turn our cameras and mics off and the floor is entirely yours. Go for it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Heather, and thank you all for having us. I think we'll all just do quick intros of what we work on, and then we'll jump right into it. We'll do a quick presentation today kind of about the better together story of Microsoft 365 plus learning management systems. But the real meat is we'll be doing a demo of all of our new learning management system integrations and LTI apps, how they show up in Canvas and Blackboard, and we can also talk about, the work we're doing with other learning management systems to bring them elsewhere. And then we would love to do a Q&A at the end and kind of get your comments, feedback, and questions, and we're happy to answer them. So I'll kick it off with the intros. I'm Samantha Fisher. I'm a product manager on the Education Experiences team, and I work on learning management system partnerships and all of our LTI apps, including the Teams meetings, Teams classes, and OneDrive/Office 365 LTI integrations. So that's my role. I'll kick it over to AJ and then Max.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. My name is AJ Brown. I'm a program manager on the customer success team for Microsoft Education, specifically working on implementation and deployment strategies for all of our wonderful EDU clients. So nice to see everyone again. I know some of you, so pleasure to see you. And I will kick it over to Max.
Hey, everybody. Max Fritz. I am a product manager on our higher education experiences team, which means if I think it has something to do with higher education, I go and play with it and have fun. So kind of a jack of all trades, and we're working on LMS integration with Samantha and AJ right now.
Awesome. I am just gonna present our deck that we've already presented a couple times, Max, but just only organizers and presenters can share in the meeting. Is there anything I need to do?
I'll work on that once again.
Yep, that's on us. Sorry.
No problem.
We typically try to remember to do it during the beginning part and did not remember to do that. Make a presenter. There's AJ. Let's go get ya. We're coming. Wait, there you are.
I also just want to give a shout out to Steve Lane, who seems like is an awesome participant here. He is one of our top rock stars in LTI office hours that actually happen on Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific or 11 Eastern Standard Time. So we have a cool group that comes together just to talk about the LTI stuff. And of course, Steve is an awesome voice there. So he mentioned this to us and invited us to come talk to you all. So shout out to Steve for making this happen. Okay, I'm a presenter. Perfect. I think I can present in Teams now. All right, it's taken a second.
We can see it on our side.
Okay, perfect. So I will pick through it a little bit. Like I said, we'll start with kind of an intro, the background, how we got here, and then we'll go right into sort of the demos and onboarding assistance and Q&A. All right, Max, tell me when to switch slides.
So I'm going to be the boring one. I'm going to talk to you about what we're doing, how we got here, all that fun stuff. And then Samantha and AJ will be the fun people to actually show you how it all works and the cool demos. But bear with me. We are like super invested at Microsoft into hybrid learning right now. It is amongst our engineering teams for education is one of our top priorities. we're trying to really create a seamless, equitable experience for all students, whether they're coming in from a remote location, whether they're in the classroom, any sort of situation. And that doesn't just involve synchronous communication, it involves asynchronous communication as well, which is how it's relevant today. We know that hybrid learning is a little bit weird with a learning management system. And as teams and the rest of Microsoft 365, we feel that we can provide a lot to the story. So Samantha, if you want to hit the next slide.
I do. Sorry.
Okay. We'll go one more. So what we've done is we've partnered with a bunch of different learning management system providers. We're going to talk about a few of them today, like Canvas, Blackboard, and Moodle, but there's plenty more on our list. We know that you're using all sorts of different learning management systems. So if you're using it, it's probably one of the ones we're talking to. But anyways, what we want to do is we want to provide a complementary workspace for teaching and learning, seamless integration, and improved learning environment, really that equitable experience I was talking about. And learning management systems and M365 together can really provide that. Now, the left-hand side of this slide and the right-hand side are just kind of more guidelines, not distinct, this has to happen here and this has to happen there, but it's kind of an idea that we have of where things might happen and how they can work together. If we go to our next slide. If you've been in this this office hours before a few times, you've probably seen something like this before, but just to set the stage, Microsoft Teams is really our hub for teaching and learning, which is mainly what we're going to be talking about today with learning management systems, but it also is, we have it used for student success, insights and analytics, professional development, and much more. We'll head on to the next slide again. And I've pretty much already talked through this one, but really our goals are synchronous and asynchronous collaboration, blended learning environments, hybrid, whatever term you want to use. We want to save time for the students and educators. That one's actually really, really, really important. The goal of our integrations is to save time for everybody and provide a seamless experience. And accessibility is always key for us.
Awesome. I'll take the next couple slides. Just a little bit about my own personal journey. I'll kind of go through this quickly. I was actually a student toward the tail end of COVID. I graduated from Seattle U in this summer of 2020, in June of 2020. So my last quarter of school was right as everything turned remote. And it was actually really interesting. I was using Teams all year for my senior project. We did a year-long project working on creating a software product for a local company in Seattle. Those are my awesome senior project teammates on the slide. And we were using Teams for collaboration, for connection, for meeting, for shared documents. And then we were also using Canvas as our learning management system. And it always kind of bugged me, especially once things turned to that remote learning due to COVID, that there wasn't better integration between Teams and Canvas. I had two completely different hubs that I was going to get my schoolwork done. So when I started that summer actually at Microsoft as a program manager, about 2 weeks in, I was given a kind of a pick of the different things I wanted to work on. And one of the things we were just powering up at that point was making our products integrate deeper, more richly, more seamlessly with learning management systems. And I said, that's what I want to work on. I know how important that is. So I've been really fortunate that for the last 2 years, I've gotten to work on exactly that. And the experience I had as a student very much mirrors what we're hearing from students as well. We've heard this feedback that we received from our LMS partners, also from our common customers. We really heard just how important it is for students that things are seamlessly integrated, because it's confusing enough to have to navigate remote learning, hybrid learning, let alone you add in the fact that you have to go to a million different places just to get something done. And the biggest concern, I'm sure everyone here is more than familiar with this, students have really been struggling with forming those authentic connections and relationships, which is part of the reason we think bringing teams in for connection and collaboration in addition to the LMS platform can be so powerful. But with that aside, that's kind of the intro and the background for why we got into this. We've been working so diligently on all of these new solutions for the last 2 years and are continuing to improve and iterate on them. I'll jump right into kind of demoing what we've got today. So the demos that I'll do are in Canvas and Blackboard. As Max mentioned, we're working on Moodle. We're working as well with D2L Brightspace, with Schoology, which is a K-12 LMS, and with many others, to be honest. So we're working on integrating with all of the top LMSs and making it easier for even smaller and bespoke LMSs to integrate with us as well. This is all done through LTI, which of course is a standard. And so a lot of these pieces can just sort of be plug and play with a learning platform that supports LTI. So without further ado, I'll hop right into showing the experience in Canvas. I'll start there. Okay. Alrighty, can everyone see my Canvas screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, perfect. So first I'll walk through the Microsoft Teams classes and Teams meetings, LTIs. So these are 2 new LTIs that we launched last August. They're really exciting. They bring the Teams classes experience and the Teams meetings experience directly into Canvas. We also have Teams classes with Blackboard as well, and the Teams meetings piece will be coming between May and July. I've heard different dates, but should be coming soon as well to Blackboard, certainly before the next back to school. But this Teams classes experience is really cool. What it does is it allows me to create a class team for my Canvas or Blackboard course. In Canvas, I come over here to this integrations tab and flip on the Microsoft Sync and hit Sync Now. There's, of course, some admin steps that need to be taken to get this configured for the organization. But on the educator side, it's really easy. I just turn this on and it creates my team. In Blackboard, it's even easier. There's just a little Enable Teams Classes button, and that'll just create your team for you. Then at that point, the team that's created is a class team, and it automatically syncs the roster from the Canvas or Blackboard or Moodle course back to the team. So any course designers, course admins, instructors, teachers' assistants are mapped over to that team as owners, and all of the students are mapped over as members. And then it provides this easy link right into Teams from the LMS course. And these rosters are kept in sync. So every 90 minutes, that sync is really looking for changes and updating the roster. So this is super great during the add drop period, or even as students are withdrawing from the course later on. There's nothing the instructor has to do. It's all completely taken care of, which is awesome. So then I can launch right into Teams and start using Teams for connection, for collaboration, for meetings. I love, kind of talking about praise, which is an awesome way to recognize one another. We actually do this at Microsoft pretty regularly. We, every 2 weeks, send each other praise for all the things, that we're really grateful for our coworkers for. And it's just an awesome sort of recognition tool that's built right in here. Yep, praise. I can just go ahead and send new praise if I want. We also have Reflect for the social and emotional well-being, as well as the ability to, of course, create different channels and project teams. So I won't dwell too long on this. I know probably everyone here is pretty familiar with the benefits of Teams, but super great there in terms of fostering that asynchronous and synchronous connection and collaboration. And also, if you have any questions, if anything comes up, feel free to drop them in the chat or join LTI office hours. I posted the link. It's just aka.ms/LTI office hours. We do that every Thursday at 11 Eastern time or 8 a.m. Pacific time. This Microsoft Teams meetings integration is a new meetings integration. We had an old integration that we did with all of the LMSs that was just a really easy sort of create a link and stick it in the rich content editor. This is a totally new Microsoft Teams meetings experience. It's more secure. You're actually specifically inviting people in the class. And it also allows you to see all of your upcoming meetings, schedule recurring meetings, join them. I can head right into meeting options, which is super awesome. So this will allow me to, set my co-presenters, set my captions. Oh, sometimes it struggles to set the meeting options in incognito, but it's all of those typical Teams meeting options that'll come up here. So that's super great. I can also schedule a new meeting right from within the LTI. So this is pretty cool now. We're just rolling this out, this ability to schedule a channel meeting. So I could pick any of the channels here in my Engineering 101 team. I won't do that though, just for the purposes of this one. I'm actually going to add the entire class. So at the click of a button, it's just going to pull in everyone in the class, which is awesome. It knows everyone who's in the class because it's looking at that team's classes roster. So it knows everyone who's in that team, and it can just allow me to pull them all in. So I'm going to call this MS Office Hours. And yeah, I have the ability to, of course, make that recurring. I could add a channel as well. I could add a location. If this was a hybrid meeting, details and all of that. When I send this, this is now going to show up not only within Canvas in the LTI, but it's also going to show up, as you can see, there it is right there, that meeting I just scheduled. It'll also go to the Outlook and Teams calendars of everyone involved. So that is the new Teams meetings integration. Maybe I'll take a quick pause. I don't know if there's any urgent questions, Max or AJ, that I should attend to. Nope. Okay. There's also this new Microsoft OneDrive integration. This is available in both Canvas and Blackboard. We're actively working on getting this enabled as well with all of those other LMSs that we mentioned. From this placement, I can manage accounts. This is admin configurable, whether or not you want your instructors and students to be able to add multiple accounts, but I could switch between OneDrive accounts here, and this would just allow me to open all of my files. But the most powerful thing that I can really do is that OneDrive integrates into a bunch of different places, both within Canvas and Blackboard, into collaborations, discussions, announcements, and of course, assignments. So if I create new assignment, there's several places that the OneDrive integration is going to plug in. I also will mention pretty much every LMS has an existing OneDrive Office 365 implementation of some sort. I know in Canvas it's called Office 365. This OneDrive LTI, this new one, it's totally Microsoft owned and maintained, and we're adding cool new features all the time. The old ones, yeah, are just that. They're old, and we're moving towards this newer one, but just wanted to clear that up. Some of them have different names and things like that. This Microsoft OneDrive one is kind of the latest and the greatest integration. So right here within the rich content editor in Canvas, I can embed or link any of these documents, which is really awesome. So I could make this my entire instructions. This is new functionality, that ability to just embed those documents. I can also create a link to that document. There's also this awesome external tool functionality here. So if I were to select file uploads, for example, as the submission type, then my students would be able to select any file from their OneDrive as a part of their submission. But if I actually choose this external tool assignment, this flow that we've implemented is that when an educator selects a file from their OneDrive, students are each going to get their own copy to edit and submit right back to the LMS. This is hugely popular in K-12, but also lots of higher ed customers have been seeing the value of this feature as well, because it's so awesome for that in-class work, for worksheets, for things where I have a template that I already want my students to fill out, and I just want an easy way for them to do that, to edit it and to submit it. And when you edit it, it'll launch right into a new tab where they can do all their editing. They can edit in the desktop app if they want, and that's all saved to the cloud. So when they go back to Canvas, they'll see all of their changes and they can just hit submit, which is super awesome, as opposed to, maybe me attaching some template that they then have to download and figure out how they're going to work on it and then re-upload it to the LMS. This just completely streamlines that process, which is super awesome. Oh, no, that's in the past. That's not an option. And then I can save and publish that assignment and show you what that looks like. So if I was in the student view, what I would see right now would be an edit button in this toolbar and a submit button. That would just make it really clear and easy how they would go ahead and complete that workflow. I also want to briefly show what the experience is like in Blackboard. So this is Blackboard Ultra. We also, the OneDrive integration works with Blackboard Classic as well. But within Blackboard Ultra, again, in this left rail, this is my Microsoft Teams integration, very similar to how it behaved in Canvas. It's just going to pull up that LTI and I can click right into Teams. So super, super awesome there. Just an easy access point to my team, and same thing. It's going to keep it all in sync and updated on the back end. I'll also show this sort of workflow as well for adding course content. You can add course content from OneDrive. I hope I actually have files in this instructor account. We'll see. But this is going to allow me to open and embed course content right in the LMS, which is super awesome. So this is also totally available in Canvas, but just showing also what it looks like in another learning management system as well. So I can select that document. And add that right within here. I'll also mention all of these files are stored on the cloud. They're stored in a SharePoint site in the backend. So even if an instructor leaves the course, they'll still all be there. All of the permissions and all of that is managed on the backend as well. So the tool takes care of all of that and makes sure the right people and the right students have access. So yeah, I can go ahead and open this up and it'll pull up the file that I just added. Here we go. So I can then take a look at this. Same thing with any of these other OneDrive items that I've added to the course. There's a couple more use cases. I can create a collaboration, for example, within Canvas. We're also working on that with Blackboard right now. That should be available in the next couple months, where I can create a collaboration using OneDrive. Like I said, in announcements and discussions, I can embed or link files through that rich content editor. But I know we're coming to time here, so I'll just go ahead and end the demo portion there. That's a little sneak peek of what's going on with all of the LTIs. We have a lot more LTIs. We have OneNote Class Notebook. We have immersive reader integrations with the LMSs. We have GitHub Classroom and LinkedIn Learning and a lot of different stuff. So if you'd like to hear more, please come to LTI office hours if you'd like to talk to all of us. It's really, me and AJ are always there. Max often drops in as well. But I will start sharing the PowerPoint again because we'll kind of go over some next steps if you're interested as well in learning more about how you can get connected with our deployment team and get all of the resources. So let me head right back into PowerPoint. Just share my screen. I think that'll be a little quicker. Okay, so this is some of the onboarding resources. We're happy to share this deck out with all of these resources. We have IT documentation for deploying everything with Canvas and Blackboard, click-through demos and a Microsoft Educator Center course for Canvas. We're developing similar resources as well for the Blackboard integrations. Also lots of great resources that our partners have put out. The big thing to note is this aka.ms/LMS integration. We have a big slide with just this. If you're interested in learning more, getting resources, you'll get kind of a reply from our team as soon as you fill out this form that'll tell you where to go to get help. I'll send you all of the documentation and also give you the option to hop on a deployment call with our deployment experts who work with AJ, who can just really help walk through how to correctly deploy all of these LTI apps so you can test them out if you're interested in learning more. So please fill out this form at aka.ms/LMS integration if you're interested in learning more. And yeah, I think we have about 5 minutes left. AJ and Max, I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, well, I didn't have anything to add, but we got a couple questions in the chat that we should address. Some questions around D2L and Schoology and really our future forward plans.
Yeah, so we are actively working with D2L and Schoology on getting all of this integrated with them. I know for both of them, probably the first thing that'll come will be the new OneDrive integration with both of those partners. And then all the team stuff will follow. I can't give specific dates because I would need kind of their joint sign off to be able to tell you the specific dates. But I will tell you, I meet with them weekly and we're actively working on co-developing and making sure the experience is really great. So not today, but actively working on it. And we are happy to come back and update this group or share updates with Heather and Stephanie and Andrea when we have that information to share back out when it's ready to pilot. I will say we will be going into private preview. We're about to go into private preview with Moodle. So if you're a Moodle customer, please sign up via that link, and we'd love to reach out and start working with you on the Moodle piece. Once we do go live or finish these integrations with Schoology and Brightspace, we'll also be looking for customers who are interested in previewing them early. So we'll let you know when that becomes an option.
The question down there around the differences between the Blackboard Learn Original versus the Blackboard Ultra, I'm going to just step in and say that that's probably something that we would have to defer to the Blackboard team to support response
Actually,
on, unless
we
you
can answer
know.
that.
I think we can answer that.
Yes.
So right now we just have that original kind of link creation flow for Microsoft Teams meetings with both Blackboard Learn Original and Blackboard Learn Ultra.
Oh, good.
When we release that new Microsoft Teams meetings experience, the cool one that I showed in Canvas with that agenda view, that will actually work in both Ultra and Original. I don't know if it's Original or Classic. I think I call it the wrong thing. The part about that team sync though, where you can add that entire class and that's coming with the team sync. The team sync is only built into Ultra. However, with this cool addition of channel meetings, if you already have a team created, you can go ahead and create your channel meetings through the LTI, even if they're not created through that, through like the sync with Blackboard, if that makes sense. So the meetings LTI will still be usable, but it will just have a little bit less functionality in Blackboard Classic.
I'm so excited for the channels integration for meetings.
I am so excited too. Today was the first day, actually in LTI office hours. I did a little demo of it and it was my first time seeing it like live come into my like production environment. So that was super exciting. Like I think we were all freaking out a little bit getting to test out the integration, and it's super awesome because it works as well if you have teams that are created through SDS or some other manner. It doesn't have to be those teams that are created through the LTI, although of course those are also going to show up there as an option.
Perfect. Channel meetings are the best meetings.
Yes.
That's the next t-shirt. Awesome.
Channel meetings are the best. Oh my gosh, great. You guys are great. You hit that time, man. That is some impressive presentation time management, and I appreciate that extremely. So we are so thankful that you guys were here. Make sure that you do check. I don't know if you guys want to drop your office hours link one more time, just so that it's fresh down there at the bottom of the thread so that everyone can find it. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. I'll try to get the recording posted today.